Folks, it's that time of the week again, auction recap time, where we review the top Pokemon card auctions that occurred this past week. I got a ton of information for you here, folks. You're going to love today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please consider being a subscriber to this channel. Help me get to 30,000 subs. I would greatly appreciate it. And I am proud to announce today's auction recap sponsor is the one and only Catch-'em-all Collectibles. If you're looking to sell your Pokemon cards that have been graded by PSA, BGS, or CGC and are worth at least $250, you should definitely consider listing them through Catch-'em-all Collectibles' eBay vault. You will not only be paying less in fees, but also have the security of having them 100% insured. Once they've been received, these cards will now be shipped out to the vault every week. And professionally priced, so you can get the best sale price for your cards. It's a 5% flat fee with a $25 minimum and weekly payouts. If you're interested, go visit Catch-'em-all Collectibles for all the details on how you can submit your cards to be sold by one of the best in the business. Alright folks, I'm so glad you tuned in. I got a lot of awesome stuff to go over with you. Starting off with the newest Shiny Treasure graded cards. Here we have a Mew EX Special Art Rare in CGC 10 pristine condition that has been sold for $213, while the Charizard EX, also a CGC 10 pristine, sold for $310. And let me just say, folks, I am so excited to see these cards hit the English versions. I believe it will be Paldea Fates, so I'm really excited to see these cards in their English formats as well. Here we have an interesting lot of 4 Rainbow Rare Evolutions from Evolving Skies, all PSA 10, and I was quite surprised that they all sold for all 4 of these for less than $50 a piece. I didn't know that these Rainbow Rares were so affordable from Evolving Skies, but yeah, less than 50 bucks a piece for all these cards in PSA 10. Yeah, that kind of surprised me. Now, last week I went over all of the amazing cards, all the amazing graded cards from the 151 set and how well they're doing. And that continues this week, minus 1 card. I'll get to that here in a second. Here is the Pikachu illustration rare that sold as a PSA 10 for $107.50. And then we had the Mew EX metal promo card from the Ultra Premium Collection box. Has fallen so far since it first hit the graded market. This card at one point was selling for $500 and went all the way up to $810 for a PSA 10 copy. And in today's market, it sells for around $54, $55 for a Gem Mint example. So it's just crazy. It's like a law. People must pay obscene amounts of money for graded cards when they first hit the market. It just has to happen. I don't know why. Even though there's a 100% chance that it's going to plummet, they still pay these prices. I don't know why. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Here from V-Star Universe is a Black Label Pikachu that sold for $1,526. And we had another Black Label card here in the Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates that sold for $1,325. Here, folks, is a lot of 10 of the Charizard V Black Star promo cards from the Champions Path Elite Trainer box. So all 10 of these cards, all PSA 10, sold for $335, making it about $33.50 per card. And only a card like this can have so many examples sold in a lot like this. Here we have the Sun and Moon Cosmic Eclipse box that has just been doing so well this year. Here we have a sealed box that sold for $870. And one of the many valuable cards you can get from this set, the Solgaleo and Lunala GX card in PSA 10, sold this week for $341. Here we have an XY Steam Siege booster box, sold for $420. Now don't get too excited because this auction also included like 8 pre-release kits with the staff cards, so the booster box is not quite worth $420, but you don't very often see Steam Siege booster boxes auctioned off. Here we have a WOTC Dragonite movie promo card that sold as a PSA 9 for $3,061. And if you don't know why, it's because the Pokemon stamp that should be within the picture itself is inverted and upside down, making it tremendously scarce to get your hands on a card like this. So even graded a PSA 9 still goes for over $3,000. Quite an expensive error. From Jungle Set, we saw a first edition Electrode sell as a PSA 10 for $812. Along with this CGC 10 Pristine Scyther, this is the no symbol error version card that sold for $984. Here we have my favorite bird of all time, the Moltres, selling as a PSA 10 from Fossil for $821. Here we have a CGC 10 Pristine Dark Blastoise Holo from Team Rocket. First edition, sold for $2,250. And then check this out, folks. This is such a tough card to get in PSA 10, such a low pop example. It is the Holo Slow King from Neo Genesis Unlimited, sold for $4,200 this week. And like I said, super hard to get this card in a PSA 10. From Aquapolis, we saw this Holo Espeon PSA 10 sell for $890. And then from Skyridge, we saw this Holo Alakazam that sold for an even $900. It always cracks me up when people put like their own individual pricing on the card itself, like that's what it's supposed to be worth. Didn't really fool anybody here. It still sold for almost $500 less than that, but still makes me chuckle. Here we have a Shining Mewtwo first edition card from Neo Destiny, sold for $2,850, while a CGC 10 Gem Mint copy sold for $1,825. And then here we have a CGC 10 Gold Star Trico that sold for $2,432. Here, folks, is a very interesting auction. It is a Gold Star Vaporeon. Got a PSA 10. Now, the deal with this auction was you're bidding on the Vaporeon, but then I guess you could also pick from these cards right here, these 6 other graded cards. You can pick one of those, is what I was gathering. So you got the Gold Star Vaporeon, and then your pick of one of these 6 cards sold for a total of $2,605. So I'm not sure how well that went. If I had to pick one of these cards, I'd probably go for either the Kingdra from Aquapolis or the Reverse Holo Growlithe from Legendary Collection. Which one would you pick? SGC collectors, I got a couple cards for you. Here is an SGC 9 Gold Star Charizard that sold for $3,650. And then we saw this SGC 10 Gold Star Latios, an absolute powerhouse Gold Star card, especially in PSA 10. Sold for $4,800. Here we have a Darkrai Level X from Great Encounters, a phenomenal art in PSA 10, sold for $730. And then here we have a Japanese Stormfront Charizard that was autographed by Arita with a little illustration of the Zard blowing out a flamethrower attack there. The card graded a Gem Mint 10 and the autograph got an 8. And sold for $1,975. And then lastly on eBay, I stumbled across this little number. It is a, I guess, set of blister packs from Legendary Collection. However, it's very confusing because the title says that they are empty booster packs, but the description says that they're sealed. So I don't know. But it ended up selling for $3,575. Like I said, I'm not sure what's going on here, but it was interesting. Up next, we have the PWCC weekly auction block with a couple of Gengars. Here's a CGC 10 Gem Mint first edition Sabrina's Gengar from Gym Heroes, sold for $1,710. And then we saw the CGC 10 Reverse Holo Gengar from Legendary Collection, one of the most expensive reverse holos from Legendary Collection, that sold for $3,720. Here we have the secret rare holographic Charmander from Stormfront in PSA 10 that sold for $1,920. Here we have the Japanese Mew EX 7,000 point promo card in PSA 10 that sold for $2,520. Here we have a CGC 9 no rarity symbol Japanese base set Venusaur that sold for $3,480. And then here is a BGS 8.5 Japanese promo non-glossy computer error card. This is a Pop 2 card that sold for $3,600. Here we have the OG Moonbreon, the first edition Umbreon card from Neo Discovery in PSA 10, sold for $4,680 this week. And then here we have a BGS 9 Articuno Tropical Mega Battle phone card that sold for $5,040. And then here's a PSA 10 Japanese Raichu Daisuke Club 5200 point promo card that sold for $6,900. And then the last auction from PWCC was this Holo Charizard from Stormfront. This is the English version in PSA 10, sold this week for $8,700. Thank you so much for watching, folks. If you got valuable Pokemon cards you want to sell, don't forget to go check out Catch 'em All Collectibles. I will put the link to his website in the description below. That's all I got for you today, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll catch you all in my next one.